Hello there and welcome back to Hydroponics Daily, your go-to podcast for everything soilless cultivation. I am your host, Dr. Russell Sharp, the founder of Utrema Limited. We manufacture interesting fertilizers, novel biostimulants, and organic biopesticides. And I follow the horticultural press on an almost daily basis, and you often get reports of a new variety of plant being produced, whether that's an ornamental plant or an edible crop. And sometimes the new variety is really interesting, and other times it's like, oh, why are you even bothering? And I feel like sometimes plant breeders release new varieties or new strains or new cultivars just because they have to be seen to be creating press releases and news and have to be seen to be innovating. And then at other times, there's like a really innovative new jump, and a new variety is amazing and has amazing characteristics. And sometimes if you're a bit of a nerd or in the industry, then something like a resistance to a specific pest or disease like a virus could be really, really massive. Or, being able to harvest it 5 days earlier could be really interesting. But if you're a member of the general public, then that's not really interesting. A cherry tomato that's slightly a different shape and it can fit in a box differently or has a slightly longer shelf life really is of no interest. But sometimes things like the Chelsea Flower Show, they'll have the top 10 new varieties and it'll be a really cool looking variety of a plant that's not been grown before. I've got an Oregon grape plant in my garden that's a really unusual shape, and I saw that one at the Chelsea Flower Show and things like that. And then I've come across one today, and it's a new pumpkin variety, which is timely because it's just been Halloween 2 nights ago. And so there's a whole new squash and pumpkin varieties, ones that are better for making into pumpkin pies, some that are squashes that are slightly longer and this one disease, the orange variety is better disease package compared to the varieties currently available. But the one that really stands out is a new pumpkin variety called Thriller. And as you can imagine, Thriller, it's a Halloween-based pumpkin and it looks unbelievable. So Thriller has, inside the grooves of the pumpkin, it's standard orange. And then on the outside of the grooves is yellow, or almost cream, I'd say, cream and dark green. So it looks like it's being ripped apart and you're seeing the insides of the pumpkin with the bright orange. It could only be better if it was red on the inside, but pumpkins are very, very rarely red, I don't think. And then they've got a big green stem. So it looks amazing. So if it's from Sakata Seeds. So if you know anyone from the Sakata Seed Company, it's a variety for the US market. If it's conventionally bred, I would love to have some seeds, get some seeds to grow it in our grow rooms or outdoors in soil and showcase this one in the UK, because I think this is going to be an absolute banger of a variety. I've never seen anything like it. So check out the new pumpkin seed, Thriller. So if you've come across any new varieties that you think are interesting, then let me know. As I say, often you'll see them advertised and marketed on places like Horsey Daily and things like that. That's the best place to find them. And yeah, if you're a horticultural grower, then always keep on top of the best new varieties and things like that. We often talk about heirloom varieties and things like that. And I've said in the past that often they have very, very poor pest and disease resistance compared to new varieties. It's very different to obviously we should, someone's got to look after them, have them in a seed bank somewhere, but it's not like storing wild relatives that are good sources of genetic material for breeding, like tomatoes and potatoes, things like this. And it's not like preserving whole rare species of plants. Species of plants and varieties are very different. This new variety, Thriller, will probably have been a mutant or a cross of another variety. What else did they say about Thriller here? So the description is it's variable orange and dark green psychedelic stripes on a creamy background create consumer appeal. The colours appear early and hold well after harvest. It's going to be commercially available in 2026. And it's a dual purpose edible squash and decorative cucumber at the same time. So you don't need to carve this. It would look rubbish carved. It's a decorative pumpkin that looks horrific, but you can actually eat. So check out Thriller from Sakata Seeds. I'll definitely be trying to get hold of some seeds. That's been Hydroponics Daily today. Been very short one today because I have been travelling for 4 hours with my kids to take them down a mine in the Peak District. We've been to the Blue John mine in the Peak District, and it was really interesting. It's the biggest mine, deepest mine in the UK, and it's been open to the public since about the 1960s, and all around the lights are all these ferns and mosses that have managed to, the spores have managed to go down and colonize the cave where normally there would be no plant life at all because there's no light. And obviously no seed plants down there because no seeds have managed to get their way down there, but the spores have. So that's one of the many advantages of ferns when we talked about a previous episode about fern growth and how they have a very different life cycle. Being able to transport your genetic material in a spore rather than a seed and then produce that gametophyte, and then that gametophyte turn into a sporophyte means that you can colonize deep and dark recesses like caves. And also ferns tolerate low light levels that will be occurring in caves like that. So yeah, my kids are now obsessed with going caving, but I'm not going to take them potholing because that is seeing some horrible YouTube videos about that. All right, that's been Hydroponics Daily for today. If you found it of any use, please do leave a Apple Podcast review because that helps the podcast tremendously. If you're not listening on Apple Podcasts, don't bother leaving a review because it doesn't help. But please do check out utrema.co.uk where you'll find all really interesting blog posts, 3 podcasts that we do, and loads of interesting products. We are experts in getting things into a solution that conventional chemistry says you can't get into a solution. So loads of interesting fertilizers and biostimulants. Thank you very much for listening. And until next time, goodbye.